Welcome to Vantage Point, and I have with me today Darren Doane, who is in town doing some recording work with the Zac Brown Band. Is that right?
Still working with the Zac Brown Band.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about maybe a little bit about that and the study guide to collision.
Vantage Point is brought to you by American Vision. For more about the topic of today's show, check out Thinking Straight in a Crooked World. You will find it at americanvision.com.
Welcome back, and I have Darren Doane here, coming in from California into the Atlanta area.
Always great to be at, the headquarters.
Good, yeah, good. It's good to see you.
All things prophetic, non-prophetic, you know. It's kind of, you sound almost like you have like a non-prophetic ministry. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
It's sort of anti-prophetic.
If you take the dispensational, I guess we do have an... In fact, what's his name? Larry Spargimino wrote a book called The Anti-Prophets.
Right.
So he's dispensational, and so anybody who isn't dispensational apparently is not prophetic. Well, we are prophetic in both ways. We believe that prophecy has been fulfilled,
right,
and we also believe that prophecy isn't always about the future. It's just the pronouncement of God's word.
Right.
You're in town on a regular basis these days because of your work with the Zac Brown Band. And a lot of people may not know who the Zac Brown Band is.
Yeah, I mean, it's for as big as the Zac Brown Band is, I mean, it's interesting that they're still growing and still people are still finding out about them. But their first album, the Foundation, sold 2 million records worldwide. They're known as a country artist, but they're really not. I mean, they're country, they're bluegrass, they're rock and roll, they're southern rock, they're jazz, they're fusion, they're jam, a lot of jam band things, in there as well. So. Now their second album just came out, You Get What You Give. Right now it's almost Christmas. 2010, the album's already gold. I mean, they were the Grammy Best New Artist winner, tons of different awards, playing in front of, 15, 20,000 people a night, and yet still not a household name, which I think is really encouraging just in general, because it tells me that even when someone has success, or even when someone's carved out even what appears to be a big marketplace, there's a lot of room left on this earth to do things, to spread a message or to get something out. Turns out 2 million people, still not a lot of people.
Yeah, and considering music, I mean, you think of the prominent music people today. Who's it? Taylor Swift. I mean,
10, 15, maybe 20 million worldwide.
Yeah. Now, what do you do with the Zac Brown Band?
As of right now, I've been kind of overseeing all of his media and film production. So that's music videos, directing his videos.
Now, one of your music videos was up for a Country Music Award. Is that right?
We were nominated for Video of the Year Award. We were nominated for Best Directed Video of the Year. All of which we lost. So.
Well, just to be, like I say, it's a privilege just to be nominated.
You know what they say. So I mean, there's, and that's, those kind of awards come with artists who are doing something a lot bigger than what you're doing. But it's nice that it comes along with it. So, so working with Zac Brown, doing all those things. We have a television show project that we're producing, and he's got a lot of stuff he wants to do, and he's based out of here, so it's fun to be able to come
you did something yesterday, or was that today with Zac down in Atlanta? What was? The
Zac Brown Band went down to a couple women's and men's shelters, homeless shelters. I couldn't figure. I think the men's shelters are sort of homeless shelters, but I think the women's shelters are more abused.
They're battered women,
right?
Okay.
And so it was really interesting because they went there, they served food for thousands of people at both places, played music, Christmas carols.
Oh. And you were there filming all this?
Yeah, filming all that.
I guess that's not filming.
Filming. No, it's filming. Yeah, it's still filming.
Yeah.
It still counts as filming. But what was really interesting was well, one was interesting is once Zac started playing some Motown songs, the whole place really went crazy. So he quickly realized they probably might not care too much about his music. And then all of a sudden, he starts playing some Marvin Gaye.
It's just like it's seen the Blues Brothers.
It got very Blues Brothers yesterday. So that
they did the Rawhide theme.
Right. But on a oddly serious note, there was what struck me was we were at the men's homeless shelter, and then we went to and then about 2 blocks over here was the battered women's facility. And with all the women, there are all the children. So you got this group of men over here who are homeless. You got this group of women over here who are in a situation, but they've got the kids.
Yeah.
Tons of kids in this place with the women. And as I was standing there, I kept thinking, there's a bunch of men over here who apparently have nothing to do.
Okay.
I don't mean it that way, but what I mean, but and there's a bunch of women over here who need help. And they're separated by a block and a half.
Yeah, well, the reason the men are homeless is because they're probably, in many cases, haven't been very good at helping themselves.
Yeah.
So
and so then you see the collateral damage, you see what's left behind.
Right.
But what was interesting was, I don't know if this is a psychological part of it, but the men were sort of happy to not happy, but were content to just, okay, we got a meal and playing some music, and Zac would play, some stuff they love, and they seem to kind of internalize it like it's for them, Zac gets to the women's shelter, he starts playing songs. Now he's already noticed, hey, I did some of the Motown hits over there, I'll bring it over here, and he starts with that. And these ladies are up, and they're singing, and they're dancing, and the kids are dancing with them, and they're having a party. They danced out of their seats for a half hour.
Really?
There was so much more life and optimism and hope, and I kept thinking, I wonder if that's because they have the kids. And I kept thinking, I wonder if because at the end of the day, they've got someone they have to take care of.
Right.
And there was still this ability to actually have a party where the men just seemed like, you know what, I'm done. So it was odd, but that was sort of something I just experienced. But Zac was there and he was feeding people, brought all his trailers in, his people in, brought in 30, 40 volunteers to serve that food. I mean, he and then the guy told me, he said here at the shelter I won't say what shelter it was, but he said every Tuesday morning Jeff Foxworthy leads a Bible study there.
Really? Because I think he's up in the Roswell, Georgia area.
So I thought that was interesting. Every Tuesday morning he teaches a small group Bible study there. Who would have known? So.
Okay, in addition to doing what you're doing with Zac Brown, which is great stuff, I had the opportunity to go down and see his facilities. Pretty impressive, and the diversity of the things that he's doing. Not just music. And we talked to one couple, a fellow making knives, which I thought was amazing. I was really impressed with this guy. He took an old anchor chain, straightened it out, and turned it into a knife. He said he did it in that day with the handle as part of kind of the rusted out, pitted part of the link in one of these big chains, and just really impressive guy. And what I liked about it so much was that he actually took time out of his day and just took us through all the different steps and explained everything and so forth, and making these knives that, intricate knives, mechanical in terms of opening and so forth, be able to do that, be able to have that skill was really impressive.
But still based on what they would have been doing, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago? I mean, he had metal, a hammer, and fire.
Yeah. I mean, really. The equipment is pretty pretty
and an
basic.
Anvil. We were joking about the anvil.
Right.
When was the last time you saw an anvil?
He has skill. Well, Wile E. Coyote.
Wile E. Coyote,
That's not the last time anybody's even seen one. But one of the things that Darren has done with American Vision is the filming the debate that took place with Christopher Hitchens and Douglas Wilson called Collision, and which did very, very well. This was mostly last year. It still is doing well this year. And American Vision has produced a study guide, which your comment was, every director, everybody involved in film wants to write a book, and everybody who's written a book wants to get involved in film. And this has turned out, and the study guide takes this 80-minute debate, which is really based upon about 100 hours worth of actual shooting time, and really encapsulates it.
Oh yeah, I mean it does what I found myself having to do every time I'd watch the movie with somebody. You know, obviously people experience it in different ways, but this was really doing and then doing a much better job at what I always found doing. You know? And so that
So this was done by Joel McDermott, who works here at American Vision, it's in 10 very short chapters. There are study questions at the end of it, and it gets to the essence of what this debate was all about. And Christopher Hitchens right now is struggling with esophageal cancer, and it's interesting as I think about him. You have to ask Christopher, does it matter? Did it matter when you didn't have cancer? Does it matter that you do have cancer now? Given your worldview, you're just a bag of meat and bones with electricity coursing through it, and essentially your bag of meat and bones is just starting to fall apart.
Right.
So you really offer nothing.
Or not.
Right.
It's just doing what protoplasma does under these temperatures.
Yeah, stuff happens. And right now, a degenerative type of thing is happening to your stuff.
Right.
And there's no emotion to it or about it. You're falling apart. There's no really any significance to you.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what he is thinking about that sort of thing now.
He's fighting it in terms of, he's already made statements, if I convert on my deathbed, it's the drugs, I mean, he's already setting up, all these disclaimers and, but, Yeah.
So anyway, if you're interested in a very good debate, this isn't a static debate. This is two guys over a period of 4 days in various settings, sitting down, talking about these particular issues.
Yeah.
They cover a whole host of things. You'll see Doug Wilson at his best of really getting to the essence of the issue, and that is, how do you know what you know? How can you contend for morals and values in an atheistic, materialistic worldview in a chance universe?
By what standard are you assessing the things that you are critiquing?
And again, the study guide is really great. This would be great for young people to go through this. It'd be a great Sunday school course in that it's laid out in 10 lessons, and this is a good 10 weeks.
I've already seen one school is already, because I brought it in and I gave it away because now they're using it in their sophomore setting. So yeah.
Well, we're going to close out this session of Vantage Point. We're going to come back and talk to Darren about a new project that we're working on, which I think you'll be interested in. So we'll see you next time.
For more related to today's show, check out the highly rated title Thinking Straight in a Crooked World by best-selling author Gary DeMar, president of American Vision. Gary DeMar shows the power of biblical thinking and the desperate need for it in the church today. Thinking Straight in a Crooked World is designed to identify the bends in the road of ideas and repair them with biblical straight thinking, from worldview to apologetics. You will find it at AmericanVision.com.
We are rolling, so I could talk about Gary. Because there's a green screen here, so somebody pull up and put behind me that picture of Gary that he had on his Facebook where it's like 1970 something with the afro. I mean, it's the most amazing afro and the mustache, but what I challenge you to do, and hopefully it's behind me right now and someone does this, look at Gary's lips in the photo. He's got these succulent, like, almost collagen-esque lips, but he doesn't have them anymore. So if you're looking at the picture, all I'm saying is, I don't think it's Gary, because the lips don't match. Hey, Gary.